Yeah, because I hate this bitch.
Joe Rogan had Bari Weiss on again, and she is I believe, New York Times op-ed writer who hates Trump and Republicans and all that.
Hates white people, but okay, sure.
You know, just narrowing it down. Let's play a little bit.
You already said a New York Times person, so.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, presidential candidates, though?
Yes,
or you want to go Jews?
Everything.
Presidential candidates, I don't know. I love Yang's, what I was going to say about Yang before we got into cutting off baby dicks.
Yes.
Love his energy, like him as a person a lot. He's real.
Yes.
You know, he's like most politicians.
She looks like Gail the snail.
Are aliens, and he's not. And
Right.
it's so
You guys
refreshing.
want to smoke? People would see us smoking weed and be like, what?
This is your father's funeral, Gail.
Such a great character.
And
Yeah. I like him a lot.
I like
he
him
also
a lot.
said that police officers should have a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I completely agree.
Wow, it's almost like Andrew Yang is fucking pandering to people, and you're stupid, and all of you just fall for it, you moron. You Yang Gang
Also,
people.
yeah, you're right.
You fucking Yang Gang people are so dumb.
And also, no, you're right. Cops aren't already more than equipped to commit acts of brutality on a daily basis. What are you talking about? You don't need a purple belt in jiu-jitsu when you can just call 70 of your colleagues in a helicopter and then put your fucking knee in somebody's back while you dislocate their shoulders.
He's going to give us money, and he sprayed whipped cream into somebody's mouth. Yeah, let's make him president. That sounds great.
has a lot. Like I went to look at the policies on his page. Like who is this? But
super rational.
He's great, and one of the things that is so like refreshing
is that you're not married
about him is that I don't know if I've been in a room in the past year with so many former Bernie and former Trump people, which are a lot of his supporters. You know, or like disaffected, disappointed Trump people, and then people.
A lot of the Yang Gang people are doing it ironically. Never forget that's how this started. Okay?
It's a meme, you dumb, whatever. You dumb. I'm trying to.
I like it.
I'm trying.
I want to be able to cut this clip. I hear you.
This woman.
Somebody goes, "Shut up, Meg."
This woman makes me want to say every single thing that would get this channel nuked in one segment. Like every single thing.
People that supported Bernie in 2016. And there's just, I don't know, like when you hear him talk, the villain of his stump speech is not Donald Trump, even though he hates Donald Trump. The villain is Amazon and big.
Yeah, but fine. That is true. But whenever you talk, Barry, your villain is Donald Trump. Like, and his supporters are all stupid. You're the person that so you like Yang because he's not like you?
Big pharma and, you know, automation, like the things that are actually transforming and decimating the country. And I just think it's refreshing.
You know what else is transforming and decimating the country?
But
he's like a Paul Revere.
By the way, you know what else is refreshing? A nice cold can of Fresca. But I'm not going to elect it president, you goofy bitch.
Yeah, I wouldn't elect an Hispanic president.
Decimating the country. And I just think it's refreshing. But
he's like a Paul Revere for automation.
Yes.
He's like, hey, this is your fucking jobs are going away.
Yeah.
Joe is a moron. I think we can say that.
He's not very smart on certain things. Joe just has, you know, it's like the old Stanhope said it. It's the old Stanhope thing. It's like, I voted for Gary Johnson because he followed me on Twitter. Like, you know, he did. I give credit to Stanhope for that. But that's how Joe is, you know?
Your jobs are going away. Yeah. He's a great guy.
Liked him. I don't know. And then I also feel like I've gone on this emotional journey with Biden where at first I'm like, like I liked him. Then I'm like, ugh, he's old. He's kind of losing it. No way he can win. And now I feel like I've gone back to maybe liking Biden.
Right, because depending on how his polls are, you want to be on the winning team. That's what she's doing, right?
It's almost like she's disingenuous and parasitic and just trying to sort of attach herself to whatever is going to be the most beneficial for her. It's almost like that. I just mean this particular individual, Royce.
Get you back on track because he's way too old.
I know.
It's not just that he's too old. He's not coherent. He's falling apart. Like, hasn't he had a stroke or something?
I don't know if he's had a stroke. He's had a lot
I
of
don't know, but
plastic
we'll
surgery.
just throw that out there because fuck it, because we're both morons.
On the biggest
'Cause we're
podcast
bo-
on the
yeah,
planet.
because we're both fucking, like at least you and I will go like, did he have a stroke? I don't fucking know, I'm an idiot. But they're like, nah, I don't have a stroke. I don't know, maybe he did, whatever, it cares.
That's for sure.
Has he?
Look at his face.
I was like, "Arr."
Yeah.
Trying to look younger.
And what was that line about? He's like the Paul Revere of fucking automation.
That's
What is-
Yang, yeah.
What is he riding a fucking AI horse and warning people about the British, or is he warning people about the dangers
robots
of
are
automation?
coming!
Like what?
And the caps, and I don't know, but
But
he, okay,
he
here's
has, like,
it doesn't
blood
matter.
pressure
Do I
issues,
think it's
right?
gonna? I
All right, says the guy with a fucking tumor in his stomach because he took too much HGH.
think the candidate. I will be very surprised if
This
the
is
candidate
like watching
not,
a guy take his female employee out for a business lunch because he wants to fuck her, and she just has no idea that he wants to fuck her, and she thinks she's out to a lunch because she's interesting.
Why is she wearing Jerry Seinfeld's puffy shirt too? Like everything about this woman is
You don't
off-putting.
like her Captain Jack Sparrow shirt?
No, I
you don't
really
like her
don't.
puffy fencing shirt?
Bernie, both because of the fundraising and because
She's dressed
of
like fucking Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance.
She's dressed like when you need to sneak into that party in Skyrim.
where he is in the polls, and because, and this is the most fundamental thing, the energy in the country right now is a populist energy. And I just don't think that a moderate, like the ones that I like a Klobuchar or a Biden, can capture the energy of the base. I think that energy is just really with Bernie.
You have more
What do you
faith in the
think?
Democratic Party than I do. I think they're going to fuck up and put Elizabeth Warren in. And I think
Oh my God. Well,
Trump's
there's-
going to chew her up.
Don't you think Trump would? Okay, but if it's Bernie versus Trump,
Yes.
who wins? Because I think Trump still.
Well, Rogan likes Bernie, so Rogan's going to say, did you hear, and I don't know if this is true, I just want to say, but there's a rumor going around that Biden has asked to be on Rogan's show, and so has Warren, and he said no to both of them. But he wanted Bernie on because he liked Bernie. It's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but it's what I've heard.
Wins.
I think you're always going to have a hard time when someone's the incumbent, right? You're always going to have a hard time when someone is the sitting president who is extremely controversial, extremely polarizing, but also we're in a great time economically. That's hard for people to deviate from. It's hard for people to deviate from good economy. When you look at the stock market, when you look at
But most people don't have stocks. Like
No, it's
most
true, but-
people are like,
Oh my God,
working
this
three
dumb
sep-
bitch. Does she think that a good stock market means that you have to own
that
stocks to care about the...
She's that stupid.
Hey, dum-dum. Hey, fuckface. The stock market is just one of the leading indicators of how the entire overall economy is doing. If all that shit is up, generally speaking, there's more jobs, there's more opportunities, people are making more money. Even if you're just somebody who works off the books as a fucking housemaid or a house cleaner, the people that do own stocks got a little bit more money and there's a $20 bill in the mailman's fucking Christmas card because stocks are like this woman, man. So
not
sick
smart.
of these fucking dumb commie broads that just people are like, oh, totally, go back to your place. Or fucking sick of this shit.
Perception, though. It's a perception. You look at unemployment.
Yeah.
Unemployment rates are very low. You know, there's a lot of things that you could point to. The standard.
It's not a perception. Unemployment rates being low isn't a perception. It's that the unemployment rate is low.
You should see what I've done for these blacks. Oh, God. I mean, they have so many jobs now.
Issues that you point to, and then you deal with all this looniness on the left that Trump is the complete opposite of. He's the antithesis.
He's the middle
of-
finger to all of it.
Exactly. Yeah. When he got in office, I said political correctness just got hit with a missile to the dick.
Yeah, did it? Yeah, political correctness got hit with a missile to the dick, huh? It's over. Political correctness is over, right? It's gotten worse since Trump has gotten in office. You want to know why? Because Trump is politically incorrect, sure. But Trump is only monitoring situations when people are getting deplatformed. He's monitoring things. And he's going to work with Twitter and he's going to work with Facebook for these red flag laws. Don't you fucking think I forgot that. Don't fucking think we forgot
Yeah, and
that.
Trump only cares if Trump is getting deplatformed.
Correct.
I mean, he didn't even honestly, he didn't even step in with the old crazy ass Loomer. which you'd think she's one of his biggest babbling crazy
Yep.
people, and he doesn't care if it's not affecting him personally. It's like, my Twitter account's fine. You guys should be like me.
That's what it was like when that guy got in office. Like, what the fuck? He just after all that grab the pussy stuff and all the craziness. That the fact that he was able to weather that storm and it didn't even seem to shake him. He would get on
like
TV.
you said, he could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue. Kind of
Yes.
think he actually could.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
I
think that.
can't think he actually could. I thought he actually could shut somebody in the Fifth Avenue. I can't think so.
Fuck you. No, he can't. Stop it. You're bringing up all these tropes that he said and bringing up now. The truth of the matter is, most people know Trump fucking talks shit, right? He talks a lot of shit. Trust me. A lot of people there's a lot of people like us who heard him talk all this shit and he hasn't done stuff about it. Trump talks a lot of shit, and you sitting here, you're gonna try to hold it again. Hillary Clinton called black people super predators, and you voted for her.
This, by the way, is anybody just bothered by the fact that, like, we're all looking at a 27-year-old, 65-year-old woman?
Yes,
Like,
you're
you
right.
know what I mean? Like, it's
Yep.
just like, it's like,
I don't know if I should ID her or ask for an AARP card.
yeah, it's like she took that shit. It's like she took some magic serum that made her young, but she's still a 60-something-year-old woman.
well, as long as the person was a dick, as long as the person he shot was a real asshole, do we really need that guy? No, well, we need Trump as president. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna
Says
be.
the guy who fucking kills bears because it's fun. And nobody likes
elk.
bear meat, fucko.
Elk.
He shoots bears too.
Okay.
It's always hard to get someone out of office. I mean, what sunk George H.W. Bush was
Yeah.
Ross Perot, and a lot of people forget that. Ross Perot, this eccentric billionaire, got on television and bought
Let me tell you something. This 27-year-old
35. I just looked at
is all she is. You think she might know Ross Perot then.
an entire half hour of regular primetime television and put on this display of why you're getting fucked and explain taxes to you and explain.
So is Mike Bloomberg going to be the Ross Perot of 2020?
No, he's
Are you fucking kidding me? Is Mike Bloomberg going to be? Are you fucking kidding me? Mike Bloomberg loves taxes. Mike Bloomberg raised so many taxes when he was in New York. It was ridiculous. Mike Bloomberg.
Bloomberg's the guy that made sugar. Remember the sugary sodas? Couldn't have like more than a 32-ounce soda or whatever. Like they started. It was like the weirdest shit. He started like out. He was exploring. Regulating how much salt people would put on their food in restaurants and stuff. Like, it was insane what a pro-nanny state guy Bloomberg is.
Then now we'll move on to another segment here. They did Joe Rogan and Bari Weiss on free speech and online radicalization.
when you think about these social media sites,
Yeah.
Gab was one where this guy who shot up the Tree of Life
Yeah.
was a member of, and is
Yeah, he was probably also on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, like,
What are these fucking weird connections you're making here,
if somebody
Joe?
commits a mass shooting, but they also have a Sam's Club membership, should we just shut down Sam's Club?
this like I'm clearly not a
Billy, the
proponent of
kid in the
censorship.
chat says, "Imagine how big her underwear is." That's very funny.
Like I'm clearly not a proponent of censorship, but
But
do you think they get radicalized in these when you get to a forum where there's no restrictions whatsoever on language?
yes, Mike.
Hey, Joe. Many of the people who are over on Gab, who may or may not be getting radicalized because they're in an echo chamber, they're only on Gab because they got kicked off of Twitter a million times, because they've been kicked off of Facebook a million times. I've been saying this for years. You actually have a better chance of de-radicalizing people if they're on a public platform where they get different opinions and different viewpoints and they get their views challenged. So what happens is you kick these people off and you IP ban them so they can't even make a new Twitter account. Then they go over to Gab, and 90% of Gab is, yeah, maybe we should just murder all the Jews. And it's like, yeah, see, I knew I was right. Like, that's part of the problem, Joe, you fucking retard. There wouldn't be a Gab if people were never getting kicked off of other places.
or ideology or behavior, You can say whatever you want as long as you're not saying something. I mean, Gab has rules like you can't do things that are illegal. You can't threaten someone. You can't put up their address. But you could say a lot of really fucked up shit, and they're not gonna police you. Do you think that these places that do allow free speech, that there's a catch-22 to it? In some ways, it's great to be able to express yourself freely, but in other ways, you can get radicalized, and it can lead to a lot of people forming these groups where they support each other in these fucked up ideas.
Yeah, I'll say two things. One of the reasons that I feel so strongly about keeping the spectrum of acceptable opinions so as wide as possible is because I think that the narrower it shrinks, like we're talking about normal ideas being closeted, then people go into these underground layers online and they become radicalized, right?
Because you're the same type of fucking cunt who would push for a lot of people getting kicked off of Twitter. Don't you fucking.
Well, let's see what she says. Let her finish the sentence.
Right? Because they're like that, the elites or in the mainstream media or whoever, they're not telling the truth. They're lying to me. So there's this secret world, and this secret world has all of these actually bigoted ideas. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So do I think that it is a catch-22? Yeah, yes. I mean, the whole thing about the world we're living in is that you no longer have to find a KKK meeting. You don't have to find a jihadist preacher. You don't have to find,
You can't find a KKK meeting. Where the fuck would you even find it?
I like her insinuation of you don't have to be mainstream. You work for the mainstream media. You guys fucking lie all the time. The problem is, and the reason you motherfuckers are so upset, and the reason all you fucking assholes are happy when you're getting people kicked off of Twitter, getting people kicked off of Facebook, getting people kicked off of everything, and people losing their mortgages and being able to use a fucking Visa card and losing their PayPals. The reason you're so happy is because for so long your bullshit went unchecked. It went unchecked. It went unchecked. And now you have people that could sit there in 5 seconds. You'll have, let's say, a 4chan. You have a 4chan fact checked and you go, that's not true. This guy was here. This is his name. This is what really happened. This is the person. Bah, bah, bah. And then they'll completely destroy your narrative. You just don't let these motherfuckers fool you. Okay? Don't let them fool you. They don't like the competition. That's all it's ever been. These fuckers, everybody, they weren't used to having competition. They were used to, you have to be a journalist and get a degree in journalism, and we have things that we follow. They can't keep up now. They can't keep up because now at Ninja Farter 54 will break a story on Twitter before the New York Times does. You know what I mean? They can't stand that. They've lost all control. So they'd rather shrink as many people and then push them over to one area like a Gab and go, these guys are all fucking bigots. They're not allowed to be around here. But the truth of the matter is, if you go to Gab, yeah, look, man, there's a lot of fucking spurgs over there. There's a lot of fucking what, pap. Of course, there's a lot of those. But you know what? There's a lot of fucking people that really didn't do anything.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people on Gab that were just like, I questioned a couple things, and now I'm over here.
And honestly, those people are now more exposed,
more susceptible
to all these other things. And again, when you see, you don't see any difference in opinion on Gab. You really don't. Everybody's just like, yeah, we should just shoot up a mosque. Why not? Right. We should shoot up more mosques. You're just like, yo, chill. You know what I mean? So it does. Again, if these people just had their original Twitter accounts, they could go, hey, man, we should shoot up a mosque. And then they would have a bunch of people going, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what kind of human being says something like that? And then they're like, nah, you're right, that's fuck. And you get ratioed and you kind of get put back into check through fucking, you know what I mean? Yeah. Through people actually getting through to you. But yeah, when you go to Gab, it's just literally like Chris Cantwell and all these people, fucking Patrick Little and all these other people just screaming about fucking doing crazy shit.
Go down the line. You just have to find a Reddit chat or a 4chan chat or something on gab.com and you find your little online village. Like, it no longer requires a real person or real interaction.
Right. It's almost like people are finding their own, I don't know, tribes and kind of like sticking together with those tribes, right? And helping like-minded people out while subverting other people and pushing them down.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to do that, Royce.
But
I'm sorry. You're not allowed to do that, Royce, if you're white.
oh, okay, all right. Well, I didn't know that.
I wasn't clear enough
Sorry.
the first time.
Right.
And there's no stakes because there's no shame because you can just be totally anonymous in these forums.
Right.
So I just like I think that's
The reason people are totally anonymous on these forums, Meg, is because if they're not anonymous, you'll find their jobs, you'll make sure that they never work, and then people that would normally not do anything because they have something to live for, because they have a family, because they have a career, then you take everything away from them. And then they have nothing to live for. And then they do crazy things because you've ruined their lives. See, that's the thing. You want to blame the Gabs and you want to blame all these people, but you don't want to. People like you, the New York Times op-ed people like you, don't want to take any of the blame for helping push these people underground. You're doing it. Whenever you say Trump is the head white supremacist, and then you turn a bunch of MAGA people that own a farm into like, well, not really. I just thought that, I wanted my taxes lowered. You're the one radicalizing people. You're pushing them to this. You're pushing these people. And eventually people push back. That's what always happens. It historically always happens.
social media is supercharging this in a way that like we can't even grasp.
You can't even control. Well, you wanted to say.
She wanted to say control.
You wanted to say. That was a very quick fucking self-edit, by the way. You wanted to say control. You could just see.
Supercharging this in a way that like we can't even grasp.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for those of us like me and you who want to protect free speech and liberty.
Yeah, Bari Weiss, free speech advocate.
Yeah, when you think of free speech, here's what I'm on my list. You think of Ron Paul, Bari Weiss.
Hey, Bari Weiss, do you defend BDS's right to free speech? I'd like to know that. That would have been my question if I was Joe Rogan. Hey, so, free speech. No, that's dope. Yeah, word. So what about BDS? Are they allowed to have free speech?
How to deal with it.
You're right. How do you deal with that? Like when you have someone like the Christchurch shooter who was live streaming this and making references to, what did
I think he referenced the Tree of Life. I don't remember.
Reference PewDiePie as well. Like, yeah, I mean, he was like...
It's like all an elaborate troll.
Right. Yeah. That's what's crazy. It's like he's shit posting and murdering at the same time.
Yeah.
And what is the...
Joe Rogan, you could try to throw PewDiePie under the bus like you're trying to do right now, mentioning PewDiePie, but you understand that you are at that level where you're 1 second away from them saying your name when something horrible happens.
And also... when they start calling him Joe, K-word, Killer Rogan and stuff, they'll start doing it to you, too.
It's going to happen. It happens
and by the
everybody.
way, Joe, why didn't you mention the other person he was obsessed with in that manifesto? Somebody you've had on the program before. Remember Candace Owens?
Candace Owens.
He's had Candace Owens on.
I mean, in my eyes, there's no clear solution to that. I don't want to restrict free speech. I certainly don't want people to...
But you also don't want someone to be free to...
Yes.
Live stream killing people.
Right. You know what?
They're two different things.
By the way,
they're two different things. No. But they're two different. The way she's framing it, right? It's almost like they're doing these little tricks. The way she's framing it, right?
They sure do.
The way she is framing it is one thing. If you allow one thing, the other thing's going to happen. You should be allowed to say whatever the fuck you want. You shouldn't be allowed to kill people. Free speech doesn't mean free killing people. And the fact that you're trying to put them together is why you're so disingenuous, is why this video is getting so ratioed. It's why you're so hated. I'm talking about Bari Weiss, of course.
Also, this is the solution, and I know it's going to be a hard one to swallow, and I don't think people are going to be too happy with what I have to say, but it's simply the reality, and the reality is this: sometimes people are going to die, and that's just too fucking bad, ain't it? And unfortunately, I don't care if 1 million people are shot tomorrow. It's not worth giving up our God-given constitutional rights to things such as free speech, the right to assembly, and the right to vote, and the right to bear arms. So, sorry, it sucks. People die.
Yeah, Permafrost goes, guys, if we just ban free speech, murder will end.
People die every goddamn day, okay? Why aren't these people leading a revolution against heart disease or drunk driving or any of this other shit? The truth is that you're way more likely to die of food poisoning than you are getting shot at church. That's the reality of it. So, sorry, people die sometimes. Too fucking bad, ain't it? I don't want to give up my rights because a couple people got shot. Sorry.
On a platform.
Right, but how could you? I mean, they're managing at scale. How could you possibly know when someone's live streaming that they're about to go and kill people? Right, when the guy's never killed anybody before, and then all of a sudden he's got this camera on and he walks in the synagogue.
Nothing, Joe. Let me answer your question for you, because this dumb bitch isn't going to be able to. Nothing, Joe. There's nothing you could do. There's no way to know. There's absolutely no way to know. And the mere fact that you're bringing up what can you do means that you think there's something you could do. There isn't anything you could do. There's not a perfect algorithm. There's not we don't have Minority Report, government that's going to be able to tell before somebody does something. Sorry, it's just how it is. And the fact that he's even asking, like, what can you do? Nothing. There's nothing you can do. We have been killing people ever since fucking Cain and Abel smashed the other one in the head with a goddamn rock. Like, what are you going to do?
People die all the time. And unfortunately, as heartless as this is going to sound, it ain't my problem. It's just not. But not being able to operate just a regular business on the internet, not being able to bank with certain people because they didn't like something I said on Twitter, that's a reality. And like Royce said earlier, you push more people towards that point, that breaking point, that falling down Michael Douglas moment. Like, look at all the shit that led to him snapping in that movie. Like, his wife took his kid because he lost his job, and it was just like, fuck. It just was a perfect storm, a perfect shit storm that made him go, no, you know what? I'm going to fire a rocket launcher at construction workers and shoot up a burger joint because I've had it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, let's look at the list. Let's look at the list of some people that were kicked off of these sites. Let's look at Red Ice, for example. Let's look at Ethan Ralph. Let's look at some of the channels that have been kicked off. None of those people were about to shoot anybody up. They weren't about to commit any violence. So the people that you're policing, the people that you're kicking off of these platforms aren't the ones that are going to shoot up a mosque. That's what blows my mind, because if you look at the people that are getting kicked, Owen Benjamin's another one. Owen Benjamin's going to fucking go and shoot a school up. Nobody was going to do that. None of these people were going to do that. So you're using some terrible thing to police people that would never in their fucking wildest dreams ever think of doing something like that.
And he starts shooting
No,
people.
I thought it was a mosque with him.
Oh, that's right. It was a mosque with him.
It was 2 mosques. He killed like 52 people.
Yeah, I mean, it's all insane. How do we manage that? I mean, what do we do?
Can I do it this time?
Because do you need it?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, I don't need an off the air.
Okay, you need it.
I just need it on
Of course, yes, please.
How do we manage this? You don't! You don't! It's not up to you! You fucking sanctimonious, self-righteous, billionaire cunt! You don't! You don't! You fucking arrogant pieces of shit who think that the common folk need your policies so you can lord over and protect them. How do you fix it, Joe? You don't. It ain't up to you. It's not fucking up to you. What do they not understand? It's not up to you. What is it that they don't get, dude?
You have to understand, Mike. When you live in a 20-acre home, when you don't have to deal with anything, when you're doing all this talking, when you were a guy that made your career being, by the way, being an edgy boy online, because you can pull some old Rogan stuff, being an edgy boy online in his fucking living room with Red Band talking about aliens and the moon, it wasn't a problem. But now that he's become the talking point, you're not a problem solver. Having people on your show and talking to them doesn't change anything. No matter how many guests you've had on your show, hasn't changed policy, hasn't done anything. This is just basically, like you said, it's the peasants down below and the people up top thinking that they know what's best, because Rogan would never do that. But these other people, they might.
It's up to us,
Because they're
Royce.
gross.
It's up to us. Royce, I'm going to ask you an honest question. How do we save these vermin from themselves?
Do you want a real answer?
How do we save these pathetic plebeians from themselves before it's too late? Because these pathetic little creatures, they need us.
Hey, Rogan, not everyone could afford a third extra bathroom in their house to put a salt tank in to fucking meditate.
Yeah.
You get that,
Or
right?
hide Ali Makovsky's panties in.
Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do.
What do we do in that? There's no, in my mind, there's no clear answer here.
There's not a clear answer, but I think that, look, the
Here it
idea
comes.
that a private company should be obligated to stream someone killing someone, or let's even go like take it less stakes than that, call Jews kikes. Why should a private company say
First
yes
of
to
all-
that?
There it is. And there it came. The 4 minutes and 11 seconds of this clip leading up to I
It's
think
a
there
private
should,
corporation.
I think there should be a wide. I think there should be a wide thing of everything. I think people should be able to say what they want. And at the end of that 4 minutes and 11 seconds,
But it's a private
here it
company.
comes. The truth starts to come out. It always come out. I think that a private company shouldn't. You know what? And I love the comparison. Yeah, a private company shouldn't be made to fucking show somebody getting massacred in a fucking mosque. But when a private company, who is now the public forum, who is now free speech, here's the problem. In this 4 minutes, they've already contradicted themselves, right? She said, and an HGH boy fucking said, they sat there and they said, can you believe these people are going over to Gab? Can you believe it? And they're getting radicalized over there. And then in this fucking same conversation, just said, I don't think a private company should have them on there. Harumph. But then when a private company like Gab decides to have people on there, because remember, they're a private Facebook is a private company. They do whatever they want. Twitter could do whatever they want. Fine. We'll follow that logic, because all of a sudden, lefties become Ron Paul when it comes to censoring speech. Then immediately they all become libertarians. They're all fucking Gary Johnson all of a sudden. But then when it comes to Gab, then it's like, well, I can't believe they're allowing that on Gab. Can you believe it? So it's a private company when it benefits your censorship agenda, but it's an evil thing that's not allowed to be on the Android store when it's something you don't like.
Well, and that's why I yelled before she even got to that point, because I haven't watched this video, but I already knew where it was going. That's why when she was saying that when she was repeating the same thing I was saying, people in the chat were like, oh, see, she agrees with you. I'm like, no, fucking wait for it. Because this is the kind of person that wants people kicked off and then goes, it's horrible that they're going into these echo chambers. And the other thing I don't like, it's this, we've created this, we talked about this a couple of days ago, about the soulless corporatism, how we've like, we're now using corporations to enforce things where it's faceless. There's no people. There's nobody held accountable. So this woman can go, no, I personally think there should be a wide variety of things that you want to say. But I'm also going to work with my people behind the scenes to apply pressure to this private company. So the private company begins to censor people. And then when they kick you off and you snap and shoot people up, I can go, it wasn't me, it was Facebook. That's their decision to make. I didn't actually. They use the corporation to be, it's like when they fire somebody and you go in and this bitch is your boss and you go, wait, you're firing me? And then they go, well, look, it wasn't up to me. It's HR. It's HR, and there's a board of people, and they've talked about it, and the company is deciding to get rid of you. The company is letting you go. It's not me. And you're like, but you're You're the one telling me right now that I'm fired, right? So you're firing? No, it's this and it's that. It's the company. Everything's now the company. And again, these leftists that are suddenly, you said Ron Paul fucking, it's a private business. They could do what they want. Cool. Then it could fucking pay you 50 cents to the dollar. How about that? No, we need to force these corporations to pay a certain minimum wage.
And they're making,
but also they're free to do what they want.
Exactly. And you're right. And they're making it seem. Do you hear what they said here? It's very important to hear what she said. They're making it seem like calling somebody the K word on Facebook is the same as murdering people, which it's not. But let's go even a step. I'm going to go even a step further than that. Are you telling me that the people that have had their Facebooks deleted and their Twitters taken away and their YouTube channels were gone, were all of those people calling people the K word? Because not me. I had a Facebook at 12 years. Me at the beginning of the show, 12 years. I never did any of that shit, ever. My Facebook was taken away without a reason. I still don't know to this day why it was taken away. The original ROTC Twitter. Talk about a Twitter thing that we never did anything edgy on. ROTC Twitter is just to promote the shows when we're going live, things we're going to do. That's it. We have our own Twitters that we do stuff with. Never did that on Twitter. Our ROTC Twitter. Mersh had. How long did you have your Mersh account for?
12 years.
12 years. Did you ever go
Twitter.
out there and just start calling people the K word? Not in your head on the Twitter.
Like recently?
Well, yes, Mike, recently.
Well, I'm trying to think back to, in the old days,
In the old
probably.
days? No.
Probably, there's probably,
One or two?
there was probably a tweet or two that said like, November 10th, 2009. You're like, yeah, I might have slipped, let one slip once in a while. But no, like, again, I used it to interact with fans, talk to people, whatever. And yeah, it got taken away by somebody who was also known for kvetching about certain things.
Matthew Weber goes, Royce, those Twitter accounts weren't deleted. They were simply resettled. Resettled to lands in the east.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Let's even go take it less stakes than that. Call Jews kikes. Why should a private company say yes to that?
So should a private company allow people to talk about forcibly resettling Palestinians and tearing down their apartment complexes?
You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to start a private company that pays women less than men. Can I do that? I'm a private
you're
company.
not allowed.
I'm allowed. She just said I'm allowed.
You're not allowed.
I'm just kidding, by the way. I would never hire women. But the point is,
you want
if
the
I
company
was
to
going
succeed.
to, I would pay them less.
But again, and I think this is important. I think everybody should pay attention to this. Notice how these fucking lefties become free market libertarians.
Yeah.
Only on this issue. Only on this issue. Not on any other issue. There's not any other issue. You know what? Tell them that we don't need healthcare for everybody. Private companies will take care of healthcare. If a private company wants to have healthcare, you can't. No private company for that. Companies only have rights when they benefit you. The private company, man, they only benefit you. Fucking stop it. You're not libertarians. Stop pretending. Stick to your fucking morals, okay? Because if a private company, if I wanted to start good Facebook, which is what I would call it, where I would kick off certain ethnic groups from it because I'm a private company, you would not allow it to exist on the internet. You would take away every site that was hosting it. You know who has a private company? Daily Stormer. They have a private company. They have a private company on the internet saying things you don't like, but hey, that guy has been kicked off of, and I don't even like Daily Stormer, by the way. I don't agree with it or anything, but just give you an example. We're talking private company. That guy has been kicked off of every single hosting platform on the planet. You don't want private companies to exist if they don't play your fucking game.
And it's also like, how many of your people have been kicked off? How many times has a leftist Jewish media personality been kicked off the internet? And they've said some crazy shit.
They get verified.
They've said some wild shit. Remember when Peter Fonda was talking about Barron Trump should be fucking raped in a cage in front of his mother? Nothing.
No.
So how many times have you seen one of you guys is kicked off of any platform ever, even when saying really fucked up shit? I can't think of a single time it's ever happened.
The double standard is fucking sickening. It really is. It's sickening. And then fucking Joe, I'll fit in whatever glass you pour me, and fucking Rogan sits here after talking. Every time when Rogan has a Jordan Peterson on, Joe Rogan's all based, man. And then when he has her on, it's like, yeah, no, you're right. It sounds awesome to me.
And then they wonder too, like they always talk about these monsters in Germany and how the Nazis came to power, and they go, it's even worse than the people that joined the Nazis. The people that sat back and did nothing.
No, the
it's
Nazis were worse.
But you know what? No, there are people that, like, you can start to relate with people who have had enough, but they don't have that kind of like hate in their heart, and they don't want to actively be a part of something. But like people that just go, well, it's not my fight. You know what I mean? Where you just go, hey, listen, no, I haven't seen anybody, officer. I haven't seen anyone. There's nobody in this house at all. And you just leave. Like, it gets to a point where you're like, I just, you can understand when people just reach a boiling point. And even the people that don't want to be actively participating in something that horrible might just go, yeah, I didn't see anything.
Look at what happened to that guy that was interviewing the people in the Bronx, in Brooklyn. Remember, all the black people. They were the same people they weren't doing anything. But like, there were a lot of, you heard them say like, I get it. What do you do? Like, if you just go along your whole life not making any friends, what happens when you need friends?
It's degrading what the platform is.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. The question is, where does that line get drawn?
I know.
And
yes.
this is the real problem.
There's no line to be drawn. And here's the thing. It's not up to you. It's not up to Bari Weiss. And it's not up to Jack Dorsey and that street shitter he's fucking what got running his legal appointment. It is not up to any of you to police anything. If somebody live streams something terrible, you take it down. You find it as fast as you can.
Take it down, yeah.
And you take it down. And you turn the evidence over to the police. If somebody posts online, I'm going to shoot Royce Lopez in his fucking face, you go to the authorities and you go, hey, this guy might shoot this dude in the face. But if somebody were to call me some fucking, drunk degenerate, fucking Mick Jew, or they want to call him a fucking S word or whatever, it's not up to you to protect us from words.
Spick, I'm a spick. I could say it. I'm allowed. It's my word.
But like that, it's not up to Joe Rogan and Bari Weiss to protect us from these mean words. It's not up to you.
People that get kicked off of certain social media sites for just not representing woke culture. Like, for instance, Meghan Markle. No, is that her? What is her name?
Meghan Murphy.
Meghan Murphy, that woman who got kicked off of Twitter because she said a man is never a woman. And she got kicked off for life.
Totally. But this is what I mean about when reasonable opinions, when the spectrum of what is reasonable becomes so narrow, people radicalize.
Yes.
And they go to these bigoted ideas.
Yes.
And it's an enormous, it's like.
Because everybody. Mike, I'm really mad. And I mean, I am, I know a lot of times people go, oh, you guys are just exact. I am really, really mad. I'm going to do this for me. I usually do this for Mike. I need to do this for me. I'm really, really sorry. I'm really, really sorry, but this needs to happen. Sorry. Soon. Very, very soon.
Yeah. Have some
Dude,
dinner,
enough!
Having some dinner soon. Yeah, totally.
Enough. This, where do we draw the line? I don't know. What, you're going to let the ADL decide where we draw the line with the SPLC? The SPLC's poison. Notice nobody brings the SPLC up anymore. It's done now. The SPLC, after that dude was caught and they're losing lawsuits and stuff, they're like, well, the trust the ADL. Nobody would ever go after them. they're the ones that decide. Who fucking decides? I'll tell you who decides. They're talking like these companies have to decide. But you know who's really deciding? You know who's really deciding? Some feminist blogger with a septum piercing and horn-rimmed glasses sitting in her bathrobe in front of her fucking Mac laptop who doesn't really like you, living with her 12 cats saying men ain't shit. She's the one deciding. There's not these you think these fucking, you know who decides? These minimum wage workers that work at Facebook. These guys making $12 an hour on YouTube, scanning YouTube videos, and they decide. And they don't run it up the ladder. It's not run up the ladder to make sure what they're doing. It's a sheer number things. Do you know how many people that have done nothing wrong? JJ Stoner got his channel deleted. That guy's never fucking done anything ever that would be considered that. We could go down the list of the amount of people that have been pushed over to D-Live because of shit like this. The problem is when you're trying to solve a problem that doesn't have a solution, all you do is make the problem worse. And like Mike said earlier, if you weren't kicking everybody off on Twitter for stupid things, Gab wouldn't exist. Gab wouldn't exist.
Their entire marketing angle is, hey, kicked off a stupid Twitter? Yeah, they're so gay. Come on over to Gab.
Dude, fuck this, man. Fuck this and giving this bitch a dumb fucking platform and letting her talk like she knows what she's talking about. She's not an intellect. I would rather have Jordan Peterson's fucking Arby cunted daughter be on the show and talk about eating meats all the time than this unqualified, stupid fucking bitch that buys her shirts from the men's section at Sears. Done. I'm fucking done. We gotta end the show. I'm sorry. We're towards the end. Nah, we're at that point anyway.
Let's get out of
Maybe
here.
we'll do it.
We're tired. I'm tired.
I'm
tired.
this drained me, man. I'm not gonna lie. This really fucking